everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. Now, I know a lot of you guys enjoy hearing my tips that start off these videos. And to be honest, it amazes me the number of things that I have come up with in the form of tips. And there are times when I will start the video not knowing what the tip is going to be. So sometimes I'm as surprised as the rest of you when it comes to what my particular tip for the week will be. Which goes to say, this week, my intent is to tell you about all of the other tips that I have given. I've amassed quite the library of different videos, and considering every single strap search starts off with a tip, and that I've been doing this for since 2019, there are a lot of tips that I have issued over the course of the 2 to 3 years or whatever that I've been doing this. So I encourage you to look back in the library of videos that I have. I do have playlists and stuff devoted to singles or to my top 10 lists or to any particular notes you may like. I've got a playlist that are $50 bills and up and so on down the road. But it's just interesting when I go back and watch occasionally some of these videos just to see what tips I was giving at the time. So yeah, with that library of videos in my back catalog, I guess you could call it, there are a lot of really interesting tips. So if you're fairly new to the channel, go ahead and explore some of those older videos, because even though the notes and the notes are still the same, but the values may have changed, and the tip is always going to be something new and unexpected, I guess you could say. Anyway, that's my tip for this week. If you're looking for more tips, check out my backlog of videos, because I've got quite a few of them out there. All right, let's get these out of the way and take a look at what I found this week. Starting off, Where's George? That's definitely a stamp I've seen in the past. That might be one of the ones that I can no longer log, but I will make the attempt after this video. What do we got here? Here's a birthday note. 1931 is the year. This would be the 29th of September, 1931. So someone would be, what would that be, 80 years old at this point? That's 90 years old. If somebody was 90 years old right now, that would be their note. Here is a one-off. It's a trinary, definitely a trinary, 3s, 4s, and 6s, but if it wasn't for that one little 6 there, it would have been a binary. That's okay, I saved trinaries, so that's still a keeper for me. Another trinary, 0s, 1s, and 8s. This one is 0s, 7s, and 8s. 1s, 4s, and 7s on this particular note. And this one has quads. Quad 2s with a 2 to start with. And this is quad 5s. Quad 7s on this one. Quad 9s, and it's a trinary, 1s, 6s, and 9s. Quad 0s, and they're all on the end, which is really cool. Now, when you have 2 zeros at the end, that means that note started off as the last note in a strap. When you have 3 zeros at the end, that generally means that was the last note in a brick. But when you have 4 zeros at the end, generally that is the last note in a particular order. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Now, I was told, I don't know this for certain, but I'm of the understanding that if you have a note with 5 zeros, that is extremely rare, because when that note comes off, that note is pulled as a test note, and they will go and check everything on that particular note to make sure everything is still lined up properly. And so it's used as a test note, and you will have a replacement note, a star note, put in its place. Anyway, that's the quad 0s at the end there. And this is 5 7s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 7s. Also a trinary, 1s, 6s, and 7s. Some stars. Real nice star from 2017. Got to check to see if they are rare. 2013. Another 2013B. This one's a higher number, so I don't think it comes in the realm of potential duplicates, but I will check anyway. Another 2013. Another 2013. Fairly rough. 2013 there as well. 2009 star note. 2006 star note. There's something you don't get to see every day. And then we get to some of the older notes. Now, this one's just 2003A. It is from Cleveland, so I don't see a lot of those, and it was in pretty good shape, so I wanted to compare it to what I had in my book. Now, for notes that I always keep, 2001. I mean, it is 20 years old, so that's why I tend to save 2001 and older. Pretty rough shape, so probably not a keeper. 1995, you're checking the serial number on the back just to make sure that it's in the right spot. Not the serial number, the plate number. Make sure it's not over here, because if you do find that one, that is a rare note. This one you can see is in really good shape. I'll check this one against my book as well. Another 1995 with the X. I told you guys about the X's last week. And 1985. Don't see a lot of these. This one's seen some better days. And then the oldest note in the group, a 1969A. You don't see a lot of the 69 series notes in circulation, and there are quite a few. I think they went up to like D or E for series numbers. So a 69A, this one is Chicago, so most likely I have this. I have virtually all the Chicago notes. But to find a 69A in circulation, I will take it. I am very happy to find anything from the 60s still in circulation. So that's what I pulled. What did I get from my box this week? Well, this is another new purchase of mine, and I don't know how long I can talk about it because I just don't know. I've got my very first military payment certificate. Yeah, I don't have military payment certificates. The closest I have are the Hawaii notes and the North Africa notes, and I think I do have a couple other World War II notes. I think from the Philippines or something. I've shown them in the past, but I don't have any of the military payment certificates. This was the first one that I've ever purchased. I purchased it not knowing the price, not knowing the value, not knowing what it was worth, but you can see he had $4 on it. And I figured I have thrown away $4 on a lot of useless stuff in my life. I will risk the $4 to see if this is worth it. Because, let's face it, I didn't have one. Now, military payments, the way to think of these is, I guess the proper way is, think of this as cash spent on the base. Obviously, if somebody was to come in and take all these, they would have nowhere to spend it other than at a U.S. military base, so that would be pretty useless to them. However, if you are on a military base, then having these would be quite important to you. They made them in change, like this one here. This is a 10-cent note, and they do go all the way up to, I think, $20 is the largest denomination you're going to find. I like the colors. I like the fact that they used colors other than your standard colors that you would see. Here you've got the blues, the purples, the pinks on there. Just a really cool note. It says right here on the back, for use only in United States military establishments by United States authorized personnel in accordance with applicable rules and regulations. So it has all of the things you would see on a normal note. Once again, says the same thing on the front. Now, the military payment notes come in a number of different series, and that is how you determine the year. This particular note you can see is series 591, and that means that this particular note is from the 1959 series. The first two numbers in that series tell you what year these were from. So 1959 military payment, what would that be? Korean War? Pretty sure that's Korean War. Yeah, they do have the serial numbers just like a regular note would have. Now, if I recall, the replacement notes, the star notes, don't have a star. If I remember, they don't have anything. So instead of seeing these here, instead of the number on the end, there won't be anything at all. It'll just end in a number rather than a letter. I could be wrong on that. I don't know a whole lot about these, but I am learning. And as far as looking at the book, well, they're not in that book. But they are in the green sheet. And if you check out the green sheet, the last thing they list are the military payments. You can see on the back, military payments continued. This starts off with, let's see. These are all fairly recent, so I will go back one. Here we go. Series 591. There we go. Series 591, they have a 5 cent, 10 cent, 25 cent, 50 cent, $1, $5, $10. And then the R is the replacement note. That is the star note, even though it may not necessarily have a star. Mine is the 10-cent note, and as you can see in VG8, They've got it at $1.25. Fine, they've got it at $2. VF20 is $3.50. XR40 is $8, and so on down the line. $70 if it's choice gem uncirculated. And remember, these are also wholesale prices. So that's the wholesale market on these particular ones. And yeah, I was kind of hoping that they'd be in my big book, but they're not. Large size notes, fractional currency smalls, encased postage stamps, colonial and continental, Confederate, era notes, postage envelopes, and postal notes. That's what's regularly in the paper money of the United States. So yeah, the only place I found stuff was in green sheet. And I've mentioned green sheet before. If you can grab an older copy from your LCS, that would be awesome. You can buy them for, I believe, $10, or you can subscribe, or I think they're $15 a piece, and then you can subscribe for the year for like $120 or something like that, which comes up to $10. Anyway, this is my 1959 Series 591 10-cent military payment. First one I got. I'll probably be getting a couple more. When I bought this, like I said, I didn't have my book or any other way to determine if it was a good price or not, so I took a shot, and I'm not complaining. I'm glad to have it. Anyway, if you learned anything new this week, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. I love reading all your comments. Thanks, guys, for watching. I'll see you again next week.